welcome to Travelicious. Today we will be exploring the most famous university. Innovation is in their DNA, MIT. MIT was built in 1861 by William Barton Rogers. Initially, it was called the Boston Tech since it was located on the other side of the Charles River in Boston's Back Bay. Boston Tech was incorporated 2 days before the American Civil War began, so classes started 4 years later after the war was over in 1865. It was a very important time during the Industrial Revolutions and world needed scientists and engineers. Boston Tech helped in fulfilling these roles. However, Boston Tech suffered financially in the first 50 years. Because another prestigious university, Harvard, was located besides it, they were established there for far longer, so they were getting more funding than Boston Tech. Harvard tried to merge with Boston Tech in 4 separate occasions. Harvard almost succeeded in 1914, but Boston Tech got an anonymous donation of $25 million from Eastman Kodak Company George Eastman. So this fund allowed Boston Tech to relocate to Cambridge in 1916, and Boston Tech became MIT, full-fledged research institution. Later, MIT got funding from private company and government contracts between World War II for radar and GPS researches, and during the Cold War, MIT did a lot of research for space race. Out of 5 moon-walking astronauts, 4 were from MIT. Hoffman was an MIT professor who worked on Hubble Space Telescope. MIT mascot is a beaver nature's engineer. All courses, majors, and building have specific number. Students basically speak in numerical language. It's a really cool aspect of MIT student life. This is the Broad Institute. MIT alumna Eric Lander is the founding director of the Broad Institute. A geneticist, molecular biologist, and mathematician, Lander has been a driving force in the development of genomics and a prominent leader of the Human Genome Project. Human Genome Project sequence the human DNA code and links certain genes to viruses and diseases and find the biological causes to certain illnesses, as well as it helped to create ancestral services finding the ancestry. This is the Stata Center, MIT's most iconic building, designed by renowned Canadian-American architect Frank Gehry. With early influences in modernism, Gehry was inspired by using everyday materials and grew up building little homes with whatever wood scraps he could find. These moments were the foundation for later finding a distinct style that has been said to defy categorization, playing with a mix of curvy edges, a lot of steel, and occasional bright colors. Due to the curvy architecture, there were drainage issues. Later it got resolved. Now they harvest rainwater from the roofs and store them underground and use them for restrooms. It was quite expensive to build. It costed around $238 million. The main tower in front is the Bill Gates Tower, Microsoft founder and a Harvard dropout. This structure is home for computer science and AI labs. Here, 2 students from Aerobot Corporation built the Roomba-friendly autonomous house cleaning robot. And Cat-like Bot originally began as bomb-disarming robot and later expanded to become more of general first responder by firefighters. John Tomasi was a professor in MIT. He worked in this building. This is the Media Lab. The MIT Media Lab is a research laboratory at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, growing out of MIT Architecture Machine Group in the School of Architecture. Its research does not restrict to fixed academic disciplines, but draws from technology, media, science, art, and design. The MIT Media Lab is a world-renowned research institution focusing on cutting-edge technologies and their impact on society. Video games like Guitar Hero, Rock Band, and the technology e-ink, which powers the e-book platforms like Kindle, are developed here. Technology backseat driver turn-by-turn navigation developed here. The arches actually look like a pod. Behind labs, there is a building for medicals. Currently, MIT doesn't have any medical programs. Hacking at MIT is a method of showing off your tech brilliance and pulling off pranks. MIT students created a large living set. They hanged it upside down on the ceiling of the pie-shaped arch. While walking under the arch, people could see the chair, a table, etc. on the ceiling of the archway. Isn't that amazing? East Dorm is a very unique dorm. Many MIT hackers live in this dorm, and they have very unique traditions. During orientation week, they have a party for the incoming class freshmen. They have a bunch of traditions. Once they build a roller coaster, and it got approved by the city of Cambridge. Students can actually ride this roller coaster and have fun. Every year at this party, they have a wrestling competition with inflatable tube filled with ketchup or glitter lube, etc. They built large-sized musical Tesla coil at the East Campus Rush Party in 2015. This is the Green Building. The building houses the Department of Earth, Atmospheric, and Planetary Sciences, EAPS. It is one of the tallest buildings in Cambridge. The Green Building was designed by I.M. Pei, who received a bachelor's degree in architecture from MIT in 1940, and Araldo Causetta. Principal donor Cecil Howard Green received a bachelor's degree and master's degree from MIT and was a co-founder of Texas Instruments. When it was built, Cambridge law limited the number of floors for high-rise buildings. Thus, the Green Building was designed to be on stilts, with the first occupied floor approximately 30 feet above ground level. In order to circumvent this law and maximize the building's height, its roof supports meteorological instruments and radio communications equipment, plus a white spherical radome enclosing long-distance weather radar apparatus. This technical equipment all requires a line-of-sight vantage point for optimum range and accuracy. Without the Green Building, it would have required construction of some kind of tower to function, to minimize interference with radio signals. Other buildings on MIT Central Campus are less than half the height of the Green Building, and the dormitory towers of Westgate MacGregor House and the high-rise buildings in Kendall Square are at least 500 feet away. Let's talk about the hacks on the Green Building by MIT students. In 1993, the 70th Annual Academy Awards gave the film Good Will Hunting 2 Oscars, one for Best Supporting Actor Robin Williams and one for Best Screenplay. The film is about an MIT janitor and was filmed partly at MIT. On the night of March 24, hackers gave the film another Oscar by turning on lights in the Green Building. Making a pattern out of lights in the Green Building is known as greenspeak. Red Sox greenspeak in 2004 for the first 2 nights of the World Series. The head of the Department of Earth, Atmospheric, and Planetary Sciences had the graduate students light up their windows in a pattern to send this message across the river. The Red Sox ended up winning for the first time in 86 years. In 2012, hackers turned MIT's Green Building into a giant playable and multicolored Tetris game. A console allowed players to move, rotate, and drop blocks. The MIT libraries have more than 5 million items in print and digital formats. The Institute archives and special collections. A unit of the libraries contains MIT founding documents and the personal papers of noted faculty. The screen space is the Killian Court. This is the Great Dome. It was built in 1916, designed by William Wells Bosworth. This used to be main entrance. Later, smaller dome was built on the west side near to the student dorms that become the main entrance. There is a dip in front of the dome. William Wells Bosworth wanted a reflecting pool. and he wanted to connect this pool to the Charles River so that students can sail right to the classes in the university. One of the pranks pulled off at this building involved a group of students taking an MIT police car at midnight. They proceeded to disassemble and reassemble the car at the rooftop of the dome. That car is displayed in the Stata Center. This is the Harvard Bridge. Harvard Bridge connects MIT to Boston. It's miles away from Harvard. Then why is it called the Harvard Bridge? In late 1800, there was a naming competition for the bridge between all of the colleges and universities near it. Harvard won, and then bridge was named as Harvard Bridge. Later, the bridge was required to be renovated due to poor structure. In 1958, members of the Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity at MIT measured the bridge's eastern sidewalk by using that year's shortest pledge. Oliver Smoot, nominally 5 feet 7 inches tall as a measuring stick. Markers painted at 10 Smoot intervals give the bridge's length 364 Smoots long, plus 1 ear. Originally, this read plus or minus 1 ear, representing measurement uncertainty. But over the years, the words or minus disappeared. Years after this stunt, Smoot became president of the American National Standards Institute and later became president of the International Organization for Standardization. This is West Side dorms. Each of the dorms have their own unique culture. McCormick Hall was the first MIT all-women dorm. Baker's Hall dorm has a fun tradition during spring. Drop Day is the last day students can drop a class without any consequences. So every year, to celebrate this day, students at the Baker dorms take a dysfunctional piano onto the roof of the dorm building and throw it down. A ton of students gather around to watch and collect the broken pieces as souvenirs. In 1994 in Random Hall, around the start of the freshman year at MIT, a student purchased a quart of milk in Central Square, intent on making macaroni and cheese. He left it in the fridge and forgot. Instead of throwing away a spoiled milk, students preserved it and started to celebrate its birthday. That milk celebrated its 25th birthday in 2019. Let's enter the Ray and Maria Stata Center. The hallway on the first floor is known as the Charles M. Vest Student Street, named for MIT 15th president. Along Student Street, you will find displays of MIT hats. Former MIT President Jerome Wiesner coined this colorful description of the MIT educational experience. Getting an education at MIT is like taking a drink from a fire hose. A group of hackers took Wiesner's quote to hear in 1991 when they turned a fire hydrant into a working drinking fountain in front of the largest lecture hall on campus. If you're interested in exploring Harvard University, check out my channel. I've got a video dedicated to Harvard University as well. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. See you guys in our next video. Till then, take care and keep traveling.